Today's the 22nd, and I almost said 23rd. Is it over yet? I was almost going to look for 23rd again there. It's not the 23rd, brain. I've been really looking forward to Sunday. It's fine. Another one from my collection. Today I thought, why not finally do a thing I've half considered before but never done, and speak about retail, because, you know, that's one of the big things about, like, oh, we're getting retail Christmas, ah. Now, these are all pretty much generic things. They maybe get worse at Christmas, but most of them probably have happened at least once in the rest of the year. And I feel like I don't mind my job for the most part. Like, it's, you go in, you do stuff, you leave, and it's all behind you. It's great. And most people are fine. You know, they're either nice or, you know, they're at least neutral level civil. They're fine. But there's the exceptions, and the exceptions are the ones you'll remember. And may also contribute to that quote about how individuals are smart, but people... So there's the 1,000,001 times you'll get asked, where's blah blah blah? One of two scenarios happen here. Either they've ignored every single sign that would tell them where blah 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 is, or they are literally standing right in front of the giant sign that is above blah blah blah. Like the fitting rooms. Giant ass sign. Giant ass, very obvious fitting rooms. Standing right across from it. Where's fitting rooms? And they're like, just over there. And they're like, oh, and, you know, it's a laugh. It's like, yeah. And I mean, no judgment, because I'm sure this is, like, everybody has these moments, right? So you have your moment where you don't notice the thing that's obvious. You're like, oh no, but it's like your one-off thing. But then if you work in retail, you see everyone's one-off thing, so then it doesn't feel like a one-off thing. It feels like an everyone thing. So it's interesting that way. I've had a couple of, like, times in tills where I'm a bit like, do people really not pay attention this much? Because it's always the way. If you're trying to get your next customer to come to till, nah, they can't hear you. They're completely oblivious to everything. And sure, sometimes you zone out. And there'll be people that come be like, sorry, I was in a world of my own there, blah, blah, or, oh, didn't hear you. If, like, you're way up at the end till and you're like me and you're tiny, short, and hidden by the till. That's, you know, okay. Frustrating, but, like, fair enough, I get it. But also, the one time, after you'll have, like, a series of, you know, people don't notice you for, you know, whatever combination of reasons, it'll always be the moment you turn around to do one other thing that someone will charge up to your till the moment you're done with your previous customer. It's like, well, gee, I note your enthusiasm, but who says I was ready to serve you? It gets more fun because we now have those fancy push a button, a nice little automated voice calls to the next customer person, and people still are not noticing when that goes off. Which is a little concerning because if it's not too loud, you can hear it like halfway away from the tills. Like if the general shop isn't loud, you can hear it. So it's like it's not that quiet. You still have people that rush up to you before being called, despite the giant sign that says "Please wait to be called." But it's fine. People learn. It's all a learning process, right? Bags on till. I don't know if this is like a people thing or I have some sort of opposites day style speech impediment I don't know about, but the number of times you'll ask someone do they need a bag and they'll say yes or no, and then you'll either not give them the bag or give them the bag and they'll be like, no, other answer, like they have a bag or they do need a bag, and it's because they've thought you've asked the opposite question that you asked. Just like, my favorite example happened quite recently. So someone just comes up, you know, says their stuff up, whatever. And I say hey or hello, whatever variation to them. And they say yes, please. So I'm assuming, because it's a couple, I'm assuming maybe this is the tail end of their conversation or whatever. But there's also that little bit of me that's been through this enough times that I'm like, this is going to be a bag mishearing scenario, isn't it? So then I ask them if they need a bag. And they're like, yes, please. So I'm assuming they somehow heard one word as a whole question, which was interesting. But you know what else? It's fine. And then there's a slightly older example that ask people, like, they had a bunch of stuff. So, you know, you're the kind of customer you're like, they probably need a bag. But I've learned in my time never assume, because sometimes the ones that have a bunch of stuff actually have their own bags. You never know who has their own bags. So, like, one time I asked, like, do you need a bag? And they're like, obviously! It's like, oh no, not fucking obviously. You might be one of those people that actually remembers to bring their reusable bags places. People need to, like, stop leaving things all around. I have found coffee cups inside the boots hanging up. I found a banana skin on, like, the edge of a shelf once. It's not so bad when they at least ask you if you have a bin, but why fuck, like, this is a shop, not a fucking bin. And on top of that, leaving anything they don't. Why do people come up to Tills and be like, oh, actually, I don't want this, then turn around and leave it on, like, the display closest to Tills? And it's like, you're literally at Tills. You could just fucking hand it to me. Don't, like, why? Why? You can half understand the laziness behind it when it's, like, out randomly in the middle of the shop. Still kind of fucking stupid. Like, you could just hold on to it till you get to Tills or, like, go back to where you got it. But at least you can understand the laziness there. But when you're at Tills and you actively, like, turn around to put it somewhere else, it's like, hello? You could literally just. And then the ones that actually do, like, are always like, oh, I'm so sorry to, like, be a pest, but I don't want this. Can I leave that with you? And I'm like, of course. That's literally what we'd prefer you to do. You're fine. Have a cookie. You're doing good. That got a little condescending. I'm sorry. I don't know if this speaks for how tight my ponytail is, but when I raise my eyebrows like this, I can feel my ponytail move. Which is a lot for, like, the way your, like, head moves, I guess. I don't know. Like, the way you don't think about things.